right, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. Hey, yo, what it is and what's good, Joe? Welcome back to 280 Plus, the social media podcast where I take the conversations of the timeline and go beyond the tweets, the posts, whatever you want to call it these days, right? I'm your host, Lowe's Def. And if you're here watching us for the first time, if you could please hit the like button, it goes a long way for the algorithms. Hit the share button, hit the subscribe button, we are on our quest to 1,000. We're getting just a little bit closer. And this is going to be the first recording of the new year. So welcome to the new year, man. Y'all see we made it back for another year. This year in 2024, come April, will mark the 3-year anniversary of the podcast. And unfortunately, we not famous yet, but we are on the way and we're consistent. And the social media platform is growing. The YouTube channel is growing incrementally, but baby steps is better than no steps. That's what I say. And we got to keep going, man. We got to keep going with the content. Obviously y'all see that, we've been, I've been doing a little bit more solo stuff, trying to be a little bit more topical, trying to kind of focus on the things that are kind of trending. We will get interviews and things like that for 2024, but it's just a task sometimes just to stay up to date with what's going on, because there's always a lot going on. And if y'all know, 2024 kind of started with a bang. And oh, my bad, I'm sorry. And y'all know we're gonna talk about the biggest interview on the internet, probably. A lot of people were saying ever, but like definitely in the last several years. One of the biggest interviews, we talking about that Katt Williams interview on Club Shay Shay with Uncle Shannon Sharp. We're gonna talk about that. But we also gonna talk about, some things that are kind of trending and viral. We got Meek and one of his friends is talking now, and a lot of people are thinking, is this a trend? Did Katt Williams got y'all talking about everybody nowadays? I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. And we also got a viral video with a bitter mom, and we're gonna talk about just this idea of like, does it take a village? But also, are we getting a little bit too upset, and just this idea but behind like step parents and their involvement with kids, and how parents kind of react to that kind of involvement. We got to talk about DJ Akademiks real quick, because he is the next contestant on that Summer Jam screen. You know what I mean? If you know that reference, yeah, somebody's coming at him now. Somebody's coming at him with some allegations. He's looking kind of Diddy-ish right now. He's looking kind of Diddy-ish, and we'll get into that. We'll get into that a little bit. And then we're gonna talk about this Katt Williams interview. Um, there's a lot to cover with that, because he said a lot, he did a lot. We're gonna try to keep it as focused as we possibly can. There's a couple points that I do have notes here, but I do have a couple points that I do not want to miss, because I think they're important. Because although I do think it was a great interview, and I am a fan of Katt Williams, we gonna try to balance it out to an extent, because truth a lot of times is subjective. A lot of times people are telling their truth as opposed to telling the truth. And I'm not saying that Katt Williams is lying, but we're gonna dig into some of those claims, and what are the implications of those claims, and what are we doing about it, and like, you know just the end result. Like, what is the point actually? Did he do what a lot of people on the internet are saying that he did, or is it just kind of shit talking? I don't know. So look, we'll get into that. And then I want to celebrate my favorite football team and their recent success. And if you know who my football team is, you know what I'm talking about. But I'll keep it a surprise, and just we'll make it part of the content here though. So, all right, now let's first topic we want to talk about Meek and his friend. So, um, can we seen this a little bit in at the end of 2023. And a lot of times we see stuff like this, like on messy platforms like a Tasha K, right? And what I'm talking about is this trend of the former friend, the former assistant, the former employee. coming out and having negative things to say about, their famous celebrity acquaintance or employer or friend, in some instances friend, and we're gonna use a word friend loosely, whatever. But um let's take a look. We got a little video here, and this is one of Meek's ex-friends, and he's basically making claims that Meek used to abuse Nicki, right? And that's a big thing to say, but we got some questions, obviously, as a result of this. So let's take a look here. Let's pull this up here. Okay, I'm gonna get it ready, and then I'm gonna get it ready, and then we gonna get to it. So, but what do y'all think about that, just in general? Like, if you were friends with somebody famous, right? So I'm gonna ask y'all this question. Yeah, if you were friends with somebody famous, or somebody got put on, and you were kind of a part of the entourage or kind of part of the crew, and then for whatever reason you have a falling out with that person, are you is it fuck that person forever? Like, even if you have fallen out with that person, or is it fuck that person forever? And are you telling business that the general public doesn't know? And if you are telling it, are you publicizing it? Because it's one thing, and we're gonna talk about this too as well. It's one thing to kind of just have some barbershop talk, just some general conversations about things, some almost like folklore, like we spreading the word, we telling stories about our experiences. It's one thing to do that, but it's a whole nother thing to record it. And then we also see on the celebrity side, a lot of times celebrities do this, but then they monetize it. So, like, what's better, what's worse? We're gonna get into that. So let's take a look at this video.
Mill, tap in. If we all, if when you if you from Philadelphia, man, y'all already know what's up with me and Meek, man. Man, I put her out in the woods. We was all the way out Jersey somewhere in the woods. Nigga put her out the house. It's dark and shit. I had to go out there and get her. She cried right here. Am I lying, Nicki? Ask Meek's sister. She was there, and her baby father. He was there too. Am I lying, y'all? His mom was there. His mom, yo, I ain't lying. Yeah, we was all family. Meek Mill.
All right, so let's see another little clip. You can't really see his face.
Was on I don't give a fuck. Listen, we was on motherfucking comms. We was riding our bike. We was riding these motherfucking bikes and shit, calling ourselves working out and shit like that. We started. We was standing at the fucking John up, like 20th Street or some shit. We riding. We all the way the fuck down there. We wound up shopping down there. Webster and shit. This fucking dude get to arguing with this girl in his mall, in his fucking store, because she told that nigga, I ain't fucking paying your fucking tag. Go get your money out the fucking hotel. He said, I just got $2,000 on me. Like I can't borrow $6,000 or whatever many $1,000 it is. They arguing real bad. They get to calling each other all kinds of crazy names. This corny dude starts spitting on. I said, yo, you crazy and shit. I told him right then and there, you lost your fucking mind. Nut. Arguing what? We get on the bikes. Long story short, I'm gonna cut this shit short because I ain't want to say too much. This fucking nut riding down the street, me, him, and Coon. I'm still Willie. I'm riding. I ain't thinking nothing of it. This nigga on Instagram writing a long ass fucking message. This and Drake. This fucking nut just did that shit because he argued with that girl. All that shit came about that girl. And don't nobody know what that beef was about, do y'all? That shit was about that girl. Because he was all insecure. And don't know how to have a bad bitch on his hip. He don't know how to be that nigga. He insecure. Telling he can't walk around the house with this and that on. Thinking niggas looking at your girl.
All right, so that's what we got here, and let me just let's just see the picture of him. So this is the friend that Meek Mill's ex-friend exposes alleged abuse Meek put Nicki Minaj through. All right, so obviously, what he's citing is maybe an example of a little bit of some physical aggression and maybe some like mental, emotional type abuse. And obviously, I wasn't there. So, like, based on what he's saying, that is crazy. That is crazy what he's saying. However, just a couple things that just feels like a little bit problematic about what he's saying because it's like, are you only talking about this because you're not Meek's friend no more? We've never heard anything like this from anybody. Like, so anybody else from Meek's camp, anybody else from Meek's camp, we never heard this from nobody in Nicki Minaj's camp, right? So why are you the one coming out here telling us this story? Now, does it sound like something believable? I mean, I don't know Meek Mill personally, but it is crazy if it did happen, saying that he was spitting on her and things like that. Now, a lot of us know that Drake, when it came to the, because this has to be at least in 2015, because that's when, when was that wins and losses that he dropped when this came out, or I think it was the album before that. It was the album before that. The whatever album came out in 2015 that had Check on it, and the obviously the track with Nicki Minaj. Um, we have that. That was that because back to back came out in 2015. So we're talking about now almost 10 years ago. We're talking about like 9 years ago, maybe even longer than that, of when these said incidents probably happened. And then now, for whatever reason, you are telling us about it. So, well, I guess I'm wondering, like, is when is this trend going to die? Is the trend of the ex associate coming out and deciding they're going to tell their famous acquaintance or their famous friends or former friends business, and they're going to expose them. They're going to expose them. Like what is the reason for that? Because this dude seemed like a street dude, right? This guy seems like he's in the streets, and he's he lives a certain lifestyle. I mean, not the stereotype boy or whatever, but like we're not gonna pretend and act like he's just a regular guy, right? You know what I mean? Like he carrying himself a certain way. So if you carrying yourself a certain way, what's making you do this? Like, do you feel like this is standing on business? Because standing on business would be, maybe he did react to Meek, whatever, but like maybe he did react to Meek, but you didn't do enough. Like we didn't hear this story. Um, and the thing is like this, I feel like, stories like this used to just be like would remain in the barbershop. Like if you knew somebody that had a different experience than you, and perhaps they rub shoulders with a celebrity, it's always interesting to get some insight, right? But like a lot of times it just stays between, like, it's word of mouth, and then it does become like folklore, because then you might say it like, yo, I knew this guy that said that he used to roll with Meek Mill, and this happened. Like for example, my barber always got a story. Like he's rubbed shoulders with some famous people, and he might have like a little story. So then, like, just in the conversation, it might come up like about a certain celebrity. And I'm like, oh, yo, my barber said he met that person before, and like this, whatever. And again, it's not like this big exposing thing, whatever. It's kind of like folklore, and it kind of remains that way. But now everybody wants to be in front of the camera, which I'm in front of the camera, but we try and put some content out, right? So everybody want to be in front of camera, and they want to tell all. We seen that with two of Tasha K's like last interviews, I mean, in which I think she's kind of on a run of like that's what she's doing. She's trying to get like these fringe people, and again, he's a fringe person. We're getting these fringe people to kind of come out and expose stuff. So I don't know. I don't think it's cool. Like I don't think that's really standing on business. And then, but I guess I'm asking and I'm wondering what's worse? What's worse when a person does this and now they go to social media, or when you have the celebrity who is at least on the surface, it seems like they're cool with everybody, right? Cool with everybody, and then they write a tell-all book, and then they're exposing, and then obviously they're making money off it. Because on one hand, this guy, like, if he was writing a book and he was telling about his life, like his own experiences, and there's something bigger than this, then I might respect it, or I might even maybe I won't respect it, but I might accept it. I might understand, like, I could see why you're doing that. That's gonna get you some bread. But if you're just doing it just to be on the gram, on a platform like recording and a viral clip on say Cheese TV, right? Like what is the point of that? Like did they pay you for that? Like did you pitch that to them and like they gave you a little check for that little tidbit? You know, are you trying to start some fodder? Like I mean, is Nicki Minaj gonna respond to this, right? Is Meek Mill gonna respond to this? Is this what you want? Do you want this kind of attention? Or what is it? I don't know. But I need that trend to stop. And like, I on my path to getting famous, I gotta, like, I'm thinking now. I'm thinking like, damn, who gonna tell a story about me and what they're gonna tell and what version they're gonna tell and are people gonna believe them and this and that. So I don't know. I don't know. I'm wondering where it goes. But we'll see. We'll kind of see. We'll kind of see with that. But let's get into another video. Or matter of fact, staying with hip hop and staying like on some like a guy that is we have a guy that has a platform, right? We all know him. He's one of the hottest guys out here in the hip hop community. And when it comes to like, this type of like podcasting and these hip hop platforms, and I'm talking about DJ Academics, right? So what I said earlier is that like it looks like he is the next contestant on that Summer Jam screen. So, and when I say that is this, right? Usually, academics is at the center, like at least he's at the center of what it seems to be like beef and drama. Like he's kind of, DJ Vlad does it, say Cheese does it, right? I typically react to this type of stuff, but I'm not in the mix. Like these famous people don't come to me to spread the word, right? They go to academics, they go to Vlad, they go to say Cheese, they go to the Breakfast Club. You know what I mean? They go to these they go to Joe Budden sometimes, right? To share certain information, right? So, the one saying, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. So for the first time, right, other than some hip hop stuff, DJ Academics looks like he has got himself into a little bit of trouble. And so I don't even know the platform that he was on. It looked like No Jumper type. Like that's like whatever he was recording from, it looked something like that. And he's basically telling a story about how he let a woman rob him. He didn't let a woman, but a woman robbed him of $500,000. And he's telling all these stories about how much money that he has in his house. He's telling us that he always has cash and he has a money counter and he has all these different he's talking about all these different streams of income and where he's holding his money and basically kind of I guess he's trying to paint this narrative that like he got sloppy, he got irresponsible a little bit, and he has all this money and like it's hard to kind of keep track of this money when you make that much money, when you have cash, it's hard to keep track of it. And he's saying that he had like about $1 million in a safe or in his house. And then he would use some of it for gambling and or give it to relatives that they need things. And it's good. I mean, when I hear him talking about this, I'm like, dang, like on one hand, and maybe this is what he wants, is like one hand is like, dang, yo, Ack is really getting to it. Like this media space like really has earned him some money, and now he's moving in different circles and he's touching a different bit of bread. You could tell that academics got a little bit of money now because he's getting fatter now, like he's getting a little chubby. He's not, he's just enjoying the luxuries of the bread. He's not necessarily like, he probably works hard, what I mean? So when you work hard, you don't, you're not probably eating right. You're probably not on the same kind of, you're probably on an erratic schedule. So, but like you could tell, like, and a lot of times when people don't come from money and they touch a little bit of bread, we've all seen it in the streets, right? That dude that starts touching money for the first time, he start getting a little fat, right? Because now he eating good. He's eating, steak and lobster and on a Wednesday night, as opposed to it being like a one time a month or once every while occasion. These people are eating good, pasta and lobster, you know what I mean? So you could see it. You could see it. So he's telling this story. and then he basically tells us that a woman that he was associated with, and it's unclear as to like if she was his girlfriend or what, right? And he tells the story that how he found out after the fact that this woman took $500,000 from him, and he's kind of pinpointing on this one woman, and he's basically saying how I guess he confronted her in some type of way, and he's talking about this story about how he got robbed for this money, but then he said about this woman that he found out that she was you know messing with some of his friends, right? So like it was a night where he had some people over, and that a woman that he was dealing with end up having sex with two dudes, where he mentions that um they don't have any condoms. He say he sees it through the surveillance, and that she fucked two dudes, right? And he's I guess he's like appalled and concerned about this and things like that. And then what happens is this is that the woman in question that he's claiming that messed around with two of his friends, and that's the thing, we're gonna use that word friend loosely, um because now yeah, Ak is probably dealing with people that aren't really cool with him. If this is supposed to be a girlfriend or somebody that's dealing with him, there for him, it is wild if you had two homies run a little train on a little dip, even if it's not your girl, a little dip that you had over there. Like, that's kind of crazy, right? So she has now spoken though, right? Because again, it ain't no fun when the rabbit got the gun. It ain't no fun when these people try to pull receipts out on you. So let's pull up this video, and what do y'all think, man? What do y'all think? Do you think is there validity to what she's saying? Is there validity to what she's saying, or you know, should we take what she's saying with a grain of salt? All right, so let's take a look at this video now. Hold on, let me share this screen. Here we go. Oh man. Oh man. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Oh, this is on. Yeah, I got this on Twitter. So this is on Twitter. So this is the woman that is saying, they say, tell the truth about DJ Academics. All right, so here we go.
I look crazy right now, but I'm not going to stand here and let this man continue to lie about me. That's not what happened, Academics. You know that that's not what happened. And for you to pretend that you didn't do anything, that I just went to your house and I'm just some thought, like we didn't know each other for 2 years. You tried to save yourself after your friends assaulted me. Whether or not you got drunk or not, I know that when you woke up, you were on top of me too. You raped me too, and a rape kit was done. You know what? I'm gonna come back with my own story. This what you wanted, and you're about to get it. I've been quiet for way too long.
All right. Oh, all right. So we got a woman using the R word, but we're gonna call it grape. All right. And she's saying that whatever he saw on surveillance, yeah, that was not consensual. Like, she's saying that. She's saying it's not consensual, that he let it go down. He let the grape go down, and that he kind of, I guess, in some roundabout way, maybe when she woke up after she was, I don't know, was she unconscious? But she's basically saying that you did it too. Like, you was a part of it too. So, and she's like, I known you. I'm not just some jump off, right? I've known you for a while, and now you trying to play me. And she's talked, she said they got a kid, they did some investigation. So obviously this is early on. Like, we don't know what's gonna come of this, whatever. But it's something to kind of keep your eye out on, right? And then I guess it's just this question, or just this trying to understand, like, how do you get in situations like that, right? Where yeah, you are dealing with God, like, these are supposed to be your friends. Is this maybe is this a case of a woman just trying to get a bag because she's embarrassed, right? Or, are you now, do you have some weird dealings with people that will kind of compromise your position and kind of put you in now in a situation where now you got to really defend yourself in a court of law. And it don't sound good if you got surveillance. It don't sound good because that you are on camera talking about you have proof of this woman, having sex or whatever, getting fucked or whatever you're saying, right? You're saying that she has you have evidence of this. So now if there is an investigation that kind of takes place, the cops are going to want that now. Can you erase the video? Can you scrub it? Sure. There might be ways, but there might also be ways to retrieve that type of stuff. So I don't know. Again, this is still early on, but academics, man, I think he needs to stick to partying, and that's a residual effect and outcome of some of the lifestyle that he's living. But it might be time to kind of slow it down, though. Slow it down. So I figured that we kind of talk about, because these are guys that's like not necessarily moving like regular civilians. We in the hip hop space, we in the street. These, you know, academics want to be a street nigga. He want to be this type of dude that's in the mix, right? Well, this is what it can. This is not a normal not a normal part of being in the mix, but this is something that can happen when you're in the mix. You get associated with the wrong people, and you kind of find yourself in some sticky situations, right? So I don't know, man. What y'all think about that? What y'all think about that? That's crazy. Leave a comment if you think that this is gonna go far. Do you think she's telling the truth? Do you think um it's a big misunderstanding of some sort? All right. So let's get into a viral clip. All right, now getting off celebrities for a second here. And I should have probably opened up the show with something like this, but I got a viral clip, and yeah. So I'm just wondering what y'all think, man. So nowadays, right? Who if you're in a relationship with somebody, there's a great chance, and depend especially when as you get older, there's a great chance that you're gonna deal with somebody that has a child, right? So either you're gonna be a step parent, or you're the person with the kids, and the person that you're dealing with is potential step parent, right? So we gonna see though, like sometimes, a lot of times, there's a stereotype that men are like crazy baby dads, and that they're the ones that start conflict. Now, sometimes we do hear about moms, right? We do hear about moms. Usually, though, it's when the dad is like messing with, like, I don't know. Yeah, it's usually like when he's like messing with the mom, and that's when there's like issues with the mom. Like they're the ones starting drama. But this seemed to be like a very benign situation, right? A good situation, and it seems like you got a bitter mom that's trying to find the negative in a positive situation. So let's take a look at this video now. So it says she's mad that her daughter's stepmom stepped up and got her daughter a dress for her graduation. So let's take a look here. Now, off the headline, we might, oh snap, why is she mad? Let's why is she really mad? Let's hear it out.
At her sixth grade graduation, and when I got to the school to see her walk her little stage into her thing, she's wearing some outfit I've never seen. Turns out her stepmother, just the two of them, went shopping last night to buy her a dress for graduation. This is a milestone moment that I wasn't even included in on. How is that showing an ounce of respect? I birthed this child. She's my child. I'm the one that's known her from birth to sixth grade to be celebrating the fact that she's graduating sixth grade. You're the one that bought her a fucking dress. You couldn't even include me in on it. A milestone moment. You really think a stepmother that have been in her life for 6 months, 8 months, however fucking long you've been in her goddamn life, you really think you have the right to go with her dress shopping for her fucking graduation and exclude me? That's respect. That's building a community and a village for children. That's what's best for the fucking children? Really? Get the fuck out of here.
She stank. She stank. She stank. I don't even already like this. So first off, I got pet peeve, right? So first off, right, as a society, can we stop with all these baby milestones, right? There's way more graduations taking place than there were when I was growing up. So we can call it a promotion, right? We can call it a promotion, but a graduation is when you receive a diploma or a degree, right? Diploma or degree. So really there's only two kinds of graduations, right? Like, and we talking about from the K through 12 system. There's really only two. The two are high school graduation and then beyond. And then we got higher ed, we got college graduation because you get a degree, you get a diploma, you get a degree. Right. And again, people gonna be mad because I see everybody posting their videos, right? Because I feel like kids graduate every grade. No, when I was in eight, when I went from fifth to sixth grade, right? Because then I got into middle school. They called it promotion. They called it, oh, fifth grade promotion, which that makes sense. Yeah, you are getting promoted to the next grade, not graduating anything, right? And then also there's the eighth grade because eighth grade to ninth grade, right? Because you're going to now high school. Eighth grade promotion. It's not graduation, right? So let's stop acting crazy, all right? And also too, I don't know, sixth grade promote, and we're gonna call it promotion because I'm a dickhead, right? So promotion, sixth grade promotion. So sixth to seventh grade, I, that's not a milestone. That's just a regular. That's just like they passed the grade. It seemed like they just passed to the next grade, right? So that's my first pet peeve, right? So you know, doesn't it take a village, right? So if you are dealing with someone, right, that has a child, right, and you realize, her this ceremony, whatever it is, this ceremony that they're about to have, this sixth grade ceremony they're about to have. Oh no, the little girl, she don't have nothing new to wear. Obviously, she was staying with the father, right? Because the mom didn't even see what the girl had on. Like she didn't even know what kind of clothes that the little girl had on. Like, so this is the first time she's seeing her clothed that day. Like, and that's what of course I'm making an assumption, but you ain't see her get into the dress because you saying that it's the first time you saw it when you get to the ceremony, right? So this little girl wasn't even under your care in that moment. So why the hell do you care what she has on, right? As long as she don't look a hot damn mess, why the fuck do you care what she has on, right? Because this is the first time you saw her in that particular day, right? But then doesn't it take a village? This woman is upset, and what it really seems like is she's upset. She still has either it's a couple of different things that could be going on. She could still have feelings for this man, right? Or they have a conflict, they have an ongoing conflict. And maybe the circumstances that surround him being with that woman are maybe a little bit controversial, but they have some type of ongoing conflict that is unresolved, right? Unresolved conflict. And this woman is deciding to take it out on the woman, right? And making it and then recording herself in her car, all emotional because she thinks a lot of people are going to co-sign what she's saying because it's like, yeah, right. Like she wants all the bitter mothers in America to kind of step up and say, yeah, you ain't supposed to fucking do that shit. Nah, hell no. You supposed to call the mom. You went to, instead of just getting her address, you supposed to call her. But here's the thing, if you're so concerned with what she had on, right? It sounds like you didn't even know that there was a ceremony. But if you so concerned, why didn't you get her? Why didn't you take her to get the dress the night before, or weeks before, or days before, or months before? Because the school year starts and ends at the same time. And now, obviously, this video is probably a little bit older because we ain't talking about nothing that happened recently. The school year just, school year started in the fall. So even if it is from last summer, it's like, yo, when the school year ends. You want to get your daughter a dress, you want to be included, you feel like you're missing a milestone, then go fucking buy your daughter a dress. Don't be mad because this woman out of the graciousness, you know, out of good graciousness and out of the kindness of her heart, she wants to bond with that little girl, right? With your daughter, and she stepped up for her. Be thankful that like you didn't even have to come out of pocket nothing, but you want to find any little thing to be angry about. And obviously it's because it's rooted in something deeper. It's rooted in something bigger. You probably still have feelings for your baby dad. You still probably have feelings for that man. Or Maybe, shit. Well, we know maybe he is playing both sides, but she didn't make that her message. So it's she's jealous of this woman. Maybe this woman looks better than her. Maybe this woman is younger than her. Who knows? But either way, it's shitty parenting. It's shitty parenting. If unless the person that is gonna be interacting with your child, whether it's a man or woman, unless they are like, a bad influence, or unless they whatever they're into certain substances, um they're not a role model. I don't know. There's a lot of different variables. There's a lot of different reasons why you can be mad at somebody, but if somebody is stepping up and trying to care for your child and do something that maybe just out of convenience you couldn't get to do it, don't be mad at them. Don't be mad at them. Be mad at the father. Maybe be mad at the father, if anything. Like, take it out on him. Which, as a father, as a baby dad, I don't want you to take it out on me. But don't now. You're not gonna take it out on my lady. Be mad at yourself. Punch the air. Punch the air. You know what I mean? You know, be mad at yourself. Don't be mad. Don't be mad at this woman because it seemed like she did something nice. And yeah, you look like a shitty ass parent, and you're not getting no cosign. So fuck you for that. So yeah, let's move on. Let's move on. So, all right. This is the big part of the episode, man. This is a big part of the episode. So, and I want to be responsible and, and trying to cover some of this. And there is one thing I need to note here. Because there's yeah. I gotta put this here because I'm gonna forget this point, and I hate that. I hate when I'm about to talk about something and there's one little thing I need to get in there, and it's probably not even a big deal, but I'm curious and I want to know if y'all was wondering the same thing while y'all was watching this interview. Katt Williams, all right, man, he decides to go on Club Shay Shay, man, which is Shannon Sharp's podcast platform. And Shannon Sharp, man, I seen a little meme or a little post about him, and he lost his job on Undisputed, right, with Skip Bayless, and we don't know exactly all the ins and outs of what happened there, but we know that he doesn't work for them anymore. So the message was like, yo, when one door closes, five doors open. So they talking about how um he has he got another job. He got a job with First Take on ESPN. He does Club Shay Shay. He does another platform with Chad Ochocinco. I forget what it's called. He just had probably the biggest interview of the year. Well, obviously the biggest interview of 2024, but we haven't seen an interview like this in a while. So real quick, so Shannon Sharp has Katt Williams, comedian legend, Katt Williams on his platform. And as of this recording, right? As of this recording, this video has not even been out a full week yet. As of this recording, there's 35 million views on this video. Yes, 35 million views. Now, on the biggest Breakfast Club interviews, right? Like on the biggest interviews like that, even like Big Joe Rogan interviews, they don't touch 35 million. Like they don't touch the 35 million. That's like when they get in the ratings for like a big event on national TV, like 35 million that's them kind of numbers. Now, and this is just unprecedented because when we're talking about a streaming platform like YouTube, it's kind of a lot of times people feel YouTube is small, but it is global, it's big. And he got 35 million views as of this recording. In the first like 2 days, it was crazy. It was like in the tens of millions, So this video is picking up steam, and part of the reason why the first half hour is really the smoke show, right? The first half hour is a smoke show, and that is what a lot of people definitely focus their time on, because in the first half hour he comes at so many of I wouldn't say the biggest comedians, but I want to say large, like popular comedians that he obviously has beef with, right? And these are comedians that have gone on different platforms and have said different things about him. So, um, does this mean that he's bitter? I guess that's the first thing. So one, he clearly hates. So one thing I learned about this interview is that he clearly hates Ricky Smiley, right? And Ricky Smiley, his beef with him is about because I guess Ricky Smiley has gone on different platforms and they've talked about the movie Friday After Next. And Ricky Smiley was cast as the role of Santa Claus, and we know Katt Williams, the first movie that he's ever in is Friday After Next, and he gets casted as Money Mike. And Ricky Smiley has at least to Katt Williams this revisionist history, and he's saying how Ricky Smiley saying how like yeah, Money Mike was his part. And Cat Williams just goes in and basically talking about how like yo, it don't even make no sense that it was your part. You can't act better than me. You a Christian comedian, so you can't cuss and you can't be a pimp, so it don't even make sense for you. And he's basically saying that he wrote his part, so it's like you can't play Money Mike because I wrote everything and I designed his outfits and basically he's saying that he was a big part of making Money Mike who Money Mike was. So so is that, right? Then he comes as Steve Harvey, right? So Steve Harvey, obviously he has beef with Steve Harvey partly because he feels that a lot of the guys in the Kings of Comedy, except excluding, well, it's only four of the guys in Kings of Comedy. So he's saying that Cedric the Entertainer and Steve Harvey specifically has shit on Bernie Mac's legacy and like has come at him. And I don't know, and I don't really know the full backstory with that. But he feels like he's defending Bernie Mac. He said in the interview that he don't talk like there's no DL Hughley slander, so he doesn't have a problem with DL. But he pulls up some receipts, and I guess his beef with Steve Harvey stems from the fact that he said that there was some type of comedy like World Series or comedy championship, some type of duel between him and Steve Harvey, and that he beat Steve Harvey, and he's the one that exposed that Steve Harvey has been wearing a man unit or a wig the whole time. Now it's funny because that went viral, and people were like, when the interview first came out, a lot of people were like, "Oh my God, is this the first time I'm hearing that this is a wig?" And it's one of those maybe that's a niche little folklore type things. I learned about this a couple years ago, and once I learned about it, I knew it was true because his hairline was too perfect. His like all my life, it was too perfect. And when they showed the old videos of his old stand up and like he similar hairstyle, but he was balding in the middle, at the top. And when you look at some old like pictures, um, thumbnails and pictures of him playing Steve Hightower on the Steve Harvey show, it for a fro, for like a cropped fro, it does look a little bit outrageous. Like it looks a little big, it looks a little bit gaudy. It doesn't look fully natural. And again, his hairline is crazy crispy there. So we obviously know that he has beef with these guys. He comes at a couple other comedians, and basically he's saying that Cedric the Entertainer, Steve Harvey, they have like a kind of like a collective of guys that they kind of roll with, and he don't fuck with none of them dudes, right? Cedric the Entertainer, he comes at him because he says that he stole a joke, which a lot of people have been pulling up receipts. There's some people that feel that the joke is the same. There's some people that feel that the joke is just similar, but there's been a lot of people been putting out receipts, and I seen another thing where it showed how Cedric the Entertainer has stole other people's jokes, and that Steve Harvey has stolen comedians' jokes, particularly if y'all remember hanging with Mr. Cooper, Mark Curry. He's saying that Mark Curry has accused him of stealing jokes. So he don't fuck with these guys because he feels like he's a superior writer to them and he's a superior comedian. And these guys have come on platforms to talk shit about him. So he's setting the record straight. So here's the thing, right? If I don't have no problem, I love Cat Williams. I am a fan of Cat Williams, and I have no problem, right, with somebody coming on a platform to set the record straight, especially if they feel that they've been wronged and they need to kind of get a clap back, or they need to get their side of the story out. So the first half hour is provocative, and it feels like automatically it's almost like, and I don't know, maybe it's our nature, like we like toxic stuff as a black community, we like toxic stuff because automatic, I believed it. I believe everything he was saying. I was just like everybody else. I believed it. I was like, yo, hell yeah, like oh shit, this is crazy. This is crazy. So then this man started talking about his personal life, and this is where I had to put my discernment on, and I was like, oh nah, bro, this nigga capping, bro. Like he started talking crazy. He said so he started talking about his childhood. Now I'm not gonna that like certain events, like especially with the traumatic type of things that he gone through, I can't speak to that. That's super personal. That's super personal. But there's certain things that he said that's just not realistic. One, he makes it seem like he's like this incredible athlete, and he said that he could run a 4.3 now in his 50s. Cap. All right. And maybe that's not important. Maybe that's not important to y'all, whatever. Maybe y'all like, oh, who cares about that? Maybe he was just joking. So why wasn't he joking when he was saying all this other stuff, whatever, right? And we're gonna get into some of the theories, because he one person he came at Kevin Hart. We didn't talk about him yet, so we're gonna get into it. So he says that he said. So I first heard, I thought he said like he read 3,000 books a year, but I think it's from there's like an age range. It might be like a 4 year age range where he said he read 3,000 books. Cap. I don't care. I don't care. And he does seem to be an intelligent man. I'm not, he said he read all nonfiction books. And this was like he was young to whatever. He said he read 3,000 books in this short time span. Cap. I don't care. I don't care what y'all say. Y'all let him get away with some stuff. I'm calling cap. I'm calling cap on the 4340. I'm calling cap on the 3,000 books. And then he said that he got into college at age 7. Age 7. Age 7. Like, I don't care. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old he is. This will be documented somewhere, right? And also too, not to diminish being a comedian, but if you are a genius, a savant, somebody that's that young and that successful, whatever, it kind of would seem crazy that you would pivot to comedy. Like I just like let's think about that real quick. I'm not saying he's not smart. But to get into college at 7 years old, 7 years old, 7 years old, and but you don't have your genius to really show for it. Like let's like it seems like you might have did some cool things with comedy, but like did you really? I don't know. So there's that, and then um so this is another controversial thing. So again, we're trying to cover certain big things that he talked about and trying to encapsulate it, trying to see where we kind of go from here. So the other thing that he did was he talked about a popular, and I wouldn't even say popular, but there's another fringe theory out there. But it depending on the kind of content that you see, depending on the circles that you run in, depending on the people that you talk to, right? This is something that it's I won't say popular, it's a common, I want to say it's a little common. There's a narrative that when black comedians, specifically comedians, for in order for them to be successful, right? In order for them to reach the next level, there's a theory out there that says that at some point in time, Hollywood is gonna make you wear a dress, right? In one of your performances, whether it's a TV show, whether it's sketch comedy, whether it's a movie, at some point in time, to reach that next level, right? You're gonna have to wear a dress. You're gonna have to wear a dress. So let's think about some of the comedians that we've, because then it's like then you think about it, then you're like, damn, wait up, what are you talking about? And Kevin Hart has even been on the interview saying that he would never wear a dress. And we're gonna get into a couple of people that said they won't wear a dress, but we're gonna get into some here too as well. So the dress stuff, all right. So notable comedians that we've seen wear dresses and that are big, or what I mean, they've had a certain run at some point in time in their careers. So we got Eddie Murphy, right? And we know Nutty Professor, Norbit, right? So Eddie Murphy has worn a dress in movies. The Wayans brothers, right? So all of them, pretty much, you could just say they wore dresses at some point in time. Jamie Foxx, right? known character on Living Color wearing the dress. Martin Lawrence, right? Couple different times, regularly on his show Martin, right? But also then we got Big Mama's House, right? Um, Keenan Thompson, they showed a little clip of him. Chris Tucker, if you think about Fifth Element, right? There's even other black actors too that have done, like Wesley Snipes has been addressed. There's a whole movie called Tu Wong Fu where that's what they do, whatever, like, and that's what they're wearing. Um, I feel like Tracy Morgan might have done some stuff. Mike Epps, he didn't wear a dress, but he's played a gay character, right? And here's another person. So they've said that Dave Chappelle has been vocal about this, or he brought this up, and he was on Oprah Winfrey show, and he's saying that they tried to make him do it, and there's this belief that Dave has never had to do it. Like Dave has never had to wear a dress, but he was able to kind of stay true to himself, and that he was able to make it without doing that. However, and yo, somebody pulled the receipts, and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that movie. So Dave Chappelle has worn a dress as well in the movie Robin Hood Men in Tights. That movie came out in '93. So if you haven't seen it before, well, no, I seen that movie multiple times when I was a kid. That movie came out when I was 5. I had HBO, Showtime. I've had those channels when I was growing up. So like I know I've seen that movie multiple times. And yes, and somebody pulled the clip up. Yeah, he's wearing a dress and it's a disguise, whatever, because they're trying to sneak into a party. But Dave Chappelle wore a dress, even though he might have said that he never did. He wore a dress as well. So there's this theory that Hollywood makes you do that. So Cat Williams, his notion is that all those guys that have done it, even though some people were saying like, oh, he didn't come at him, he didn't come at him, but no, he's saying that he kept coming at comedians that take shortcuts to reach certain success, and he's basically explaining why he's not on a certain level, or you may not have seen him in as many movies as we like, and it's all because he has always stood true to his values and true to his principles, which again, that gets a lot of people going. That gets a lot of people thinking like, yo, like, yeah, yo, you right. You right, man. Yeah, you never wore a dress. Yeah, you know what? You the realest dude alive. Yo, you came at this person, you came at this person. Everything that you saying gotta be true. Everything you saying gotta be true. So that's the narrative, and that's what he's kind of bringing to the table. And like a lot of people are eating it up now. I'm not gonna say that one, when you think about the dress thing, it is weird. It's like, oh shit, what does that mean? Like where does that come from? And we can talk about that real quick. But then it's like, is there a correlation to that? And also another person, big person wore dresses, obviously like Tyler Perry, whatever, right? So my thing is this. So all right, so where does it come from? So obviously, this comes from just like a lot of weird things and fucked up things that happen to black men in the United States, in America. This stems from slavery, right? Because there were times when you had white slave owners. They would, in attempts to kind of emasculate black men, right, they would, they might make them wear dresses, or even back when they were probably doing minstrel shows and things like that, like even the early days of acting, a lot of people are saying, like, when you dig into like history, they're saying, yeah, that would be the only role that a black person could play. So like that's the only way that they're eating that night, you know. And I read a couple different articles. So I read an article on NPR from 2006, and there's a Dr. Boyd, I think his name Dr. Boyd, and he's on NPR. He's basically saying how where it comes from, like where it started, but basically back in 2006, he's saying like, yo, we gotta. There's no need to do that anymore. There's no need to do that anymore. Like we can forget that. Like we made it. Like we have a choice now. We have a choice now. And so that's the premise. Like we have a choice now, and like so why are we doing it? But Cat Williams is still asserting the fact that like no, they make you do this. They make you do it, and you're gonna be like me, basically. You're gonna be this independent comedian that gets passed over on opportunities because I'm not the type of person that wants to sacrifice my morals and things like that for this. Now, although, all right, let me speak on this real quick. So, although this might be a Hollyweird theory, right? I feel like ultimately, I don't think it has anything to do with Hollywood specifically. right? I don't think it has anything to do with Hollywood specifically because we live in a consume. We've learned this much in the 21st century is that this is a consumer first world, right? Consumer first in terms of the consumers drive what the businesses do. Okay. It's not the other way around. The businesses don't, we learn that the businesses, they don't know what to do until we tell them what to do. Right. So if y'all want to talk about, if y'all, let's just say, you bump some of these comedians down a peg because they worn dresses. Like, let's just say that. Like, let's say that that's how you feel about it. Well, ultimately, it's the consumers that keep this stuff alive, right? And when we think about it, it's not just the white man, the white Hollywood executives making us do this, right? Because the biggest producer of black-owned content is a man named Tyler Perry. And how did Tyler Perry get famous? Tyler Perry got famous on the back of wearing a dress and being Tyler Perry and being Medea, right? I don't like that's one like Tyler Perry has some good work, whatever. I hate the Medea character. I hate that whole concept. I hate it. I hate it. And like to do it one time, two times, whatever, whatever. But like he kept doing it. Like he kept doing it, whatever. So, but like y'all love Medea. Black people love Medea. No matter how big you think these guys are, and if they became like white famous all of a sudden, they are still bigger. These people are still big in our communities, whether you're talking about Eddie Murphy, we're talking about Kevin Hart, we're talking about the Waynesboro, like they're still the biggest content creators and comedians of our community. So if we think it's weird, then why do y'all talk so much about like movies like White Chicks? Like I've and this might sound great. I've never actually seen the movie White Chicks. Like I know like certain little jokes from it, whatever, but I wasn't into that. I wasn't into it, whatever. Why do y'all watch Medea and go anytime they drop a Medea movie, y'all go see it in droves. Y'all don't just see it, y'all see it in droves, right? So y'all like it. Y'all think it's funny, whatever. Um, you know what I mean? Eddie Murphy, Nutty Professor is probably that's like bottom tier Eddie Murphy stuff to me. Like, and obviously we know he plays he plays a couple characters. Norbit was kind of funny. It had some moments, I mean? So I do kind of like that. I don't I never liked Big Mama's House. Now I watched it when I was a kid. I consumed it. I wasn't thinking of it. But also too, what is the point of this talk, right? Are we saying they're emasculating black men for the image of black men, or are they masculating black men to make us into like women, and like now young black boys are going to want to emulate women? Because I seen Big Mama's House, I seen Robin Hood Men in Tights, I seen all these different movies and all this different content, and I ain't never not once want to wear a dress. So like, is that why we feel weird about it, or is it do we feel a little bit bitter because maybe we got and sure you can stand on your morals, you can stand on your principles, but do we feel bitter that we got passed over on some opportunities? Because that's one thing he kept dropping lines where it's like, oh, everything Kevin Hart ever done, it hit my desk first, but then I didn't want this scene in it, so I didn't do it. So then they said they'll call me, and then what do I know? He got the part. That's business. If you are, especially in entertainment, if they offer you something, what I mean, you're allowed to make your demands, whatever. You're allowed to make your demands, but then when they want to ask somebody else that's gonna kind of fit into what they want, or you know, however you want to word that, then if you don't take if that person takes the opportunity, that's just the name of business. That's just what happens, right? That's just what happens. So I don't know, man. I don't get it. Here's the thing, I don't particularly like that content, so I'm not defending black male comedians that get in dresses. Like I don't stand on that. But at the same time, I feel like the people that say the most about that type of content and like make a big deal about it, because to me, it's like, all right, they being funny. Now, if I was a comedian, and if I was put in that situation, I might say like, yo, is there anything else that we could do? Like, I might be like a Cat Williams in certain instances, but also too, if I happen to watch any of these little things, I don't take it that serious. Like I don't think these men are really like trying to be women. I think it is, they're trying to be funny. There's another article that I read from 2023 where it basically talks about how like, you know, as much as we talk about the emasculation of black men, when these black men wear dresses, the maybe the bigger issue that we need to talk about is how these portrayals of black women are just like caricatures of black women, and how it kind of hones in on like the most negative stereotypes of women, so like of black women. So like if maybe that's the conversation that we need to be having, right? As opposed to like, because if what I guess what's the point of talking about it? Is it like, oh, see, this is what happens when you sell your soul? Is it an integrity thing? Is it like a homophobia thing? And you thinking that like, yo, this is making young boys, is this the agenda? And they're making young boys want to be girls, if you're saying that? Or is the issue really like, yo, they doing this and they making fun of black women in the meantime, and like we should stop doing that? Like what is it? And then Cat Williams talking about it. Does it change anything? Does it actually change the perception of anything? Does it change whatever? So I don't know. I don't think it does. I don't think it does. Now, couple couple things. Now, and then there's fan reactions. So then we'll talk a little bit about fan reactions, because again, he talked a lot more about stuff. And when I put this episode out, um, and some people see some content, and maybe I want to dig into it more. Maybe I'll have a conversation with somebody about it. But we're gonna move on to then the fan reactions and also some corrections. So Ice Cube. So and first off, first and foremost, right? Because I'm gonna forget my little point, my little question I have here. So one of the things that Cat Williams does in this interview is that he keeps talking about how he's not inebriated, and he took offense to Kevin Hart being on the Breakfast Club saying that Cat Williams lost some jobs because of drug usage and things like that. And then Cat Williams, which this is, I don't know how y'all just gloss over this. I don't know how y'all gloss over this. So Cat Williams keeps saying that he never was on substances, right? He's never been on anything, and basically saying his body is a temple, and like, he would never do these type of things. He was never on drugs, right? And I don't know if he was ever on drugs for sure, like for sure. However, why? And nobody said nothing. Shannon Sharp, you let him talk, but you ain't really you asked him there were a couple weird questions you asked him, but you ain't asked him this. Why didn't Shannon Sharp ask Cat Williams about them little kids that beat him up? The teenagers that beat him up in the grass. Really, that one teenager that dusted him off and beat him up in the grass. Why didn't nobody talk to Shannon Sharp about that? Why didn't Shannon Sharp ask Cat Williams about that? Right? Because we all saw that video, right? And I don't give a fuck what you tell me. Cat Williams was smoked off his ass. Like, it wasn't just high. Like, he was on some shit. What was that nigga on that day when he was fighting that eighth grader and got beat up? What was he on that day? Because he wasn't sober. It didn't look like he was high off no weed. He looked like he was on some shit. He looked strung he looked shot the fuck out and looked crazy. And even just to even be in that situation, it looks wild. So like, why didn't Shannon Sharp ask him about that? Nobody has asked him about that. Why not? What's the deal? What's the story with that? Because then we're gonna get some truth, all right? But now, just corrections and fan reactions, all right? So Ice Cube then goes on to clear some stuff up. So he makes a lot of claims about the Friday movie, and he says, Ice Cube then clarifies. He said, yeah, a lot of what Cat was saying was 100%. So, but a couple things he corrected. He corrected him. He said, well, first off, um, Cat Cat Williams makes this claim that like there was, when Damon and Money Mike are in the bathroom, I guess it's supposed to be that Damon actually does go ahead and take advantage of Money Mike. What's to say that, right? And grapes him, right? And Cat Williams is making a claim that like, yeah, it was because of his input that they took that out of the story. Like, he made a big deal about it and they took it out of the story. But Ice Cube was saying no, it was never gonna go down. Like I don't know what he's talking about, but like I would never put a scene like that in a comedy. Like so, like that. So he didn't have to worry about that, right? And then he also clarifies. He says yes, there was a script, and as comedians, they had some room to improv, whatever. But like he basically kind of clarifies, he's like, yeah, Cat Williams didn't necessarily write. He didn't write his part however he wanted. He did the scene, and then yeah, there was some time for him to improvise, but like. No, he basically said I would say that he kind of tamed it down a little bit, saying like, yo, you put a little bit too much dip on your chip, and it ain't exactly how you said it, but I'm rolling with some of your truths. Um, and then Ari Spears went on and he rants about Cat Williams, and basically his claim is that like, all right, because I guess he might have said something quick about Ari Spears, but he's basically saying how the fans are eating up everything that Cat Williams has said, but then Ari Spears points out and he says, but all right, what has Cat Williams done though? Like you guys are saying that he shook up Hollywood and that he's doing this great stuff and that he's making a difference and that he's the realest one out there. But then Eric Spears is just saying like, well, but what did he actually do? What did he actually accomplish? If he shook up the industry, is he stopping people's bags? Is he what is he doing out here in response to all this, right? So he kind of just kind of points out certain things, and it makes us feel like like yeah, maybe maybe he was just kind of talking shit, you know what I mean? Like what did he really accomplish? Like there were some good moments in there, and this is the thing, this is the most humble version of Cat Williams I've ever seen. Like I've never seen him like this. I've seen him talk in interviews and he's never been this humble. So like come on now, like what's the deal? And then last thing, just talking about fans. Fans are kind of split. Some feel that Cat is a genius, and that what he's saying is basically shutting the industry down, shaking the industry up. While there's others that are saying that the general public will eat up anything, and that he hasn't said anything profound, or it's not as profound as we're making it to be, right? Like so, like I kind of look again. I was entertained by the interview. I think that again when he was directly defending himself against Steve Harvey, Cedric the Entertainer, and whoever else was saying stuff about him, like when he was doing that, I was feeling him. Once he started talking about the childhood and like where Shannon wasn't really questioning some of the things he said, that's when I was like a little bit. That's when I started getting skeptical. But then when he kind of had like a little bit of a God complex, and he was just making it seem like he is truly next to God. Like he even made a comment, said that he's his best friend, and then like he's making all these claims, but it's like let's think about this though, and this I'm gonna leave y'all with this outside of Cat Williams specials, right? Because he says he said he's produced and put out, and that's great. I mean, he put out 12 specials. He's done 19 different 100 city tours, right? That's great. That sounds like you making your own money. There, what I mean, it sounds like he does help out comedians that need help. There's even been people putting out stories like saying like, yo, Cat did this for me. Cat did it, and that's what's up. But when we talking about content creation and all this stuff he talks about writing, and he's supposed to write this, he's supposed to write that. What has Cat Williams ever created? What has he ever created? Like, what movie has he ever wrote? Because if he wants to stand on these principles and this integrity and like being true to himself, and like he's not going to do certain roles, right? And he's not even going to be a part of content that isn't, doesn't look a certain way. Well, then why hasn't he created anything? TV show, a movie. He got money. He said he's been famous his whole life. He's talking about money ain't the issue. So like, why hasn't he created anything? Why hasn't he hired anybody to kind of do it? And really put out some content that means something to him, as opposed to him, kind of talking about the opportunities that he's missed or the opportunities that have been kept away from him. Like, well, why haven't you created your own? I, That's one thing I want y'all to think about. Like y'all never seen Katt Williams presents whatever movie or produced by, like, you haven't seen it because it's not there. It don't exist. So like again, I like Katt Williams. I enjoy his comedy. But I'm not gonna watch something like that and be like, yo, everything he said was 100% true. Like I'm not that type of person. I cannot be that type of person. It's just not, it's irresponsible to be that way. And I'm kind of ashamed of some of y'all for just the way y'all was dicky, man. Y'all was dicking a little bit. And you might think I'm a hater, but y'all was sucking, man. Y'all was glazing. Like the kids say all these different crazy words, right? Yeah, y'all was dicky a little bit, man. And I need y'all to take the dick out your mouth, man. For real, for real. All right, man. All right, let's wrap this up, man. Let's wrap this up. We got one more thing. Just I'm excited for. And this has been up and down season, up and down season. But the Green Bay Packers, the yellow and gold, go pack, go, cheeseheads, whatever you want to call us, man. Lambo leapers. The Green Bay Packers have made the playoffs. Let's go. Let's go. So I ain't gonna lie, man. The peak prediction that I had for my team, because I was being conservative, but I said, I could roll with this. Peak predictions were 9-8, and it was playoff hopeful. Like, all right, we finished 9-8. Yeah, I think we could finish 9-8 at best. I felt like, and then I said, if we make the playoffs, that'll be a bonus. But like, let's just go out without a losing season. But they did reach 9-8, and then they earned playoff spot. Now, I've been watching them, man. Last 2 or 3 games I've seen them play. Yo, Love is actually playing very well. Like let's not let I can't sugarcoat that. Like Love is balling right now. Love is balling. He has a command on the offense that he did not have in game one, and that's to be expected. But like and even there were certain games, a lot of games in the middle where it's like, I don't know. But like, no, he has command. Like he's making tough throws. He's making big throws. He's making big plays. They look like they can drive down the field whenever they want to. They look like a real offense. In the beginning of the season, it was like kind of lucky. Like they had like a lot of luck plays, but we got a lot of young talent, and the future looks bright. I would like to see them get a veteran wide receiver just to solidify the core, but they look good. Like they look good as a young team. Um, and yeah, so I love that for him, and I love that for our franchise. So the future actually does look a little bit bright. Let's see. The Eagles, they suck. They limped into the playoffs. Um, and that's all I wanted to say about the Eagles. So like the Eagles, they were riding high. They started what 11-0, 11-0, and finished what? Was it? Were they 11-5? Are they what 11-6? Did they go 11-0? Did they go 11? I forget, man. I don't know, but they've been losing games left and right, left and right, left and right. They just lost to the Giants. They lost to the Cardinals. We seen them lose to the 49ers. We saw them lose to the Cowboys. We saw like they just lose. They just lose, and they're in trouble. So they might get a first round win. But I'm rooting for Tampa Bay. I'm rooting for Tampa Bay. The Packers they do have a tough matchup against the Cowboys. The Cowboys are tough. They have like splash. They got a lot of splash players. CD Lamb playing like a real number one receiver. There's been a lot of CD Lamb hate, and this man led the league in receptions with 135. He's what second in the NFL in yards with 1700, over 1700, and second in the league in touchdowns with 12. So like he almost got a triple crown. Like he almost got the triple crown. So I think niggas need to start putting some more respect on CD Lamb's name. He's not just a possession receiver. Like he's a playmaker. He does it out there. Now he did it with an extra. I'm always gonna put that asterisk on guys, but he still averaged 100 yards a game. That's hard to do in today's league, right? So, but yeah, so they are tough. They got some splash players, but they are beatable. They are beatable. They've had some weird games this year, and I feel like I think we're gonna jump out on them a little bit. That's what I predict. That's what I want to happen. Pittsburgh, they made it. And they did have to win, but they primarily got in there because of Jacksonville choke. So Jabbar Harris, I know you're gonna have something to say. I know Fresh Barman, you're gonna have something to say about it. But yeah, bro, y'all got into the playoffs because another team lost. And yeah, y'all did win, but y'all beat a team that was resting their starter. So like, and you didn't beat them by much. So like, if Lamar Jackson plays in that game, which he should not have played in that game, because why risk injury? Like why risk T.J. Watt killing you out there if you don't have to? But if he was out there, I think it would have been a little bit of outcome, and y'all would have missed it. Mike Tomlin. The one thing about Mike Tomlin, he just celebrated being, he's being celebrated for 17 consecutive, I think it's consecutive, or 17 non-losing seasons. But let's not pretend, and that's not the same thing as saying 17 winning seasons, because he doesn't have 17 winning seasons. He has 17 non-losing seasons, which means some are winning seasons and other seasons are just like 8-8, you know, 9-7, like, but no playoffs, whatever. So Mike, I call him Mediocre Mike or Mike Mediocre. If a team wanted him, if like, because I know a lot of Eagles fans are like, oh yeah, fire Nick Sirianni, man. One of my mans was saying like, yeah, I would take Tomlin. Why? Mike Tomlin, although again, brother, I don't want to hate on the brother. I love that he's a brother. I love that he's had the longevity that he's had. But one, the Pittsburgh Steelers, they created the Rooney Rule comes from their organization. So they not about to be the first they not about to be the first team. They not about to fire a black coach with that rule or whatever, right? But also too, they can't fire him until he does horrible. So he's doing enough to keep a job, but when he went to the Super Bowl with them, he inherited a great team, and they lost. They lost the Super Bowl to the Packers, right? My team. And they haven't been back since. We haven't been back either. So I can't talk too much shit. I can't talk but I don't feel like they haven't even been to any. We've been to some NFC Championship games. Now we ain't win and get to the Super Bowl game, but like we've been to some NFC Championship games. They haven't even been to the AFC Championship game in God knows how long, right? So like and they've had some years where they had the best offense in the NFL, like multiple times with a solid enough defense, and still not there. So I don't know, man. I don't know. He'll still be there for a couple more years. I think if they get a quarterback, they'll actually be in good position. I think if we got some pieces that we need, but again, we got Dallas this week, and hopefully we can take it. But I don't know. This was a jam-packed episode. There's a lot of content, a lot of things to sift through, a lot of things I can't wait for the smoke. I want these clips to come out. I want y'all to talk y'all shit. I want to talk to somebody who else that has seen that Katt Williams interview, and I want to kind of dive in. I'll dive into it again if we can. But if you still watching, I need y'all to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, right? It goes a long way. Leave a comment if you think I said something crazy. You disagree with something I said. Leave a comment. Like let's have a little bit of discourse. Let's have a discussion about it. But overall, man, I had a good time with y'all tonight. And this is another episode of 280 Plus Podcast, y'all. I'm out. Peace.